who's back? Guess who's back? VJ Vernon Husky Man here with another fresh episode of Said What I Said on InfanityTV.com and Infanity TV over on YouTube. I know it's been a while since I've been gone. Handled some business, man. I was MIA. I got sick. I was covering the Lakers, the Clippers, the Dodgers, the Kings. I'll be doing some Spark stuff coming up. I was on the run. And I think the good Lord was telling me to have a seat and sit down, and I did. And I was down and out for a couple of weeks, man. But leave back up with Infanity TV, and we are premiered today, season 2 of VJ Said What I Said, man. So make sure you guys all tune in here. We'll always be here, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. back east. VJ Said What I Said on Infinity. Don't forget to go to Infanity TV over on YouTube. Go right now. Not Infinity, Fan, F-A-N, Infanity TV. We just eclipsed 10,000 subscribers. Everybody here is very proud of that, man. But we can't do it without you guys, man. The supporters, the people that show us love. Whether you like what we say or you don't, we just need you to watch. Y'all know the name of the game. And as always, man, we got a great show for you guys lined up today. I got some breaking news, real talk breaking news, like it just broke like an hour ago. Breaking news. We'll get into that later in the show. We'll talk about Caitlin Clark. She's a hot topic right now. We'll talk about USA basketball, get into some NFL and the NBA finals. We haven't talked any finals. I haven't talked any finals on TV and radio just yet. It is a big hole for the Mavs to climb out of, down 0-2. I got some questions, but my questions are going to start with the word of the day, as we always do here on VJ Said What I Said. So let's get right into it. So the word of today is denial. And that's because there's a lot of denial going on. Now you guys know how we do it here on VJ Said What I Said. I'm going to break it down by life, and then I'm going to break it down by sport. A lot of times in life, man, denial will kill you. Denial will have you at a job for 10, 15 years that you don't like. Denial will have you saying hi to your neighbors that you can't stand because they be loud at night. They don't have no respect. They ain't got no morals. They no honor. Ain't got no scruples. They loud. They party. And you trying to rest. I'm old now, so I go to bed kind of early. I can't be living next to nobody playing music at 4, 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning. People coming all out of the house. They selling weed, doing all types of weird stuff. That like a lot of people will be in denial because we'll keep speaking. We'll be like, well, you got to be a good neighbor. Oh, well, you got to be good on the job. Or some people are in denial. They're in a bad relationship. You should have left that relationship 5 years ago. I'm talking to somebody right now. You should have left that relationship 5 or 6 years ago, but you're in denial that things are where they are. You think things are going to change. Sometimes we're in denial about our own children. Sometimes your kid's just not good. Sometimes your kid's just not the next Ken Griffey Jr. Your kid's not the next Michael Jordan. Your kid's not the next Diana Taurasi or Candace Parker or Cheryl Swoops or Lisa Leslie. Your kid's not the next Rafael Nadal. You soccer parents, all you soccer parents out there and tennis parents out there, your kid's not the next Messi. Trust me, I've seen him. He's not. Trust me, he's not. But you're in denial. We face a lot of denial in life because sometimes truth is really hard to swallow. That's why they say things like the truth shall set you free. The truth will bring righteousness. The truth will be the light. Everything you do in the dark comes out in the light. And a lot of times we're in denial about stuff like that. Sometimes we're in denial about ourselves. Some of us think that we're better than we are. And sometimes we're in denial. Some of us think that we're not as good as we truly are. It's a lot of denial in life, and it comes from a lot of different levels and a lot of different angles and a lot of different situations. It's the same way in sports. We are in denial a lot of times that maybe a superstar just doesn't have it anymore. We're in denial sometimes that your front office of your favorite team is going to get it together. I've been in denial. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. We'll take my beloved Miami Dolphins. There have been years I have been in denial about what this team's going to be, what this team's going to do. And I think we all do that in the sports talk business. In the sports talk business, I think we're all in denial sometimes about players we like, teams we grew up loving. Sometimes you may be in denial about a player or team that you don't like. There's always denial in sports. Maybe your front office just isn't going to get it together. Maybe your GM, he just can't draft. Maybe your head coach, he just can't get right with X and O's and schematics and putting the game plan together, doing what's best for the team, putting the players in the best position to win and to make the plays they need to make to win. And you keep saying, no, he's going to get it together. Or if that guy with this, or if this with this, or if this. I tell people all the time, 2 words in sports that ruin sports talk, in my opinion. Not ruin it, but it just makes me not, makes me turn it off. or it makes me look away. Sources and if. If was an eighth, we'd all be high. And if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass every time he hopped. So if French toast your ifs, I go by what happened. I go by the facts. I go by the data statistics. And one of my favorite sayings, and I need to stop saying this and just do it, is put the tape on. See, that's a denial right there. I'm in denial right there that I can actually take a phrase and actually make something of it, but I say it all the time, and I'm one of the only people in this business that really leans on put the tape on. Damn your analytics, damn your numbers, damn your narratives, damn your variables, put the tape on, because film don't lie. That's why visual evidence, I'm a big First 48 fan. Any of you guys watch First 48? I'm a huge First 48 fan. You know when I know they got the criminal? When they got him on tape. When someone has seen it, when it's on video, because that video don't lie. Your car was parked right there at the same time as the murder. The missing items from the house were found on your possession. Like, oh, but you didn't kill. But the video shows you're there. Put the tape on. That'll take a lot of denial away. There's some people that are in denial right now. One of them is one of my favorite players. Kyrie Irving right now in the NBA Finals is not playing very well. This Finals hinges on one guy now. Now it's 2-0 Boston. Now, there's no panic, in my opinion. The home team did what they were supposed to do. You can't be in denial of that. You can't think that they weren't supposed to win games 1 and 2 at home. That's why you play 82, so you can get home court advantage. If you asked all 30 teams, if you asked all 32 in NFL, all 30 in the majors, I believe it's 30 in National Basketball Association. If you asked all the teams from every pro league at the start of the season, hey, you know what? We're going to give you home field if you make the playoffs. It doesn't matter where you finish, but if long you got to make the playoffs, you can't be like the worst team in the league and get you home field. If you make the playoffs, we're going to give you home field. We're going to give you home court advantage. How many teams are going to say no? Just tell me that. How many teams will say no, we're going to go out there and fight out? Now, the competitor in you still going to go ball. You still going to go want to play football. You still going to go want to bust some ass. You still going to go want to, want to kick some butt and do your thing, show your talent, show your competitive spirit. But in the back of your mind, you know you got home field advantage. Everybody would take that. So that's what Boston's done. Boston is taking care of home field advantage. I'll tell you why Kyrie Irving is in denial. And once again, everybody know that's my guy, Wakanda. Afro Reed, that's my guy. But he's in denial that he's past this Boston thing. Now, I had a chance to cover Kyrie Irving when the Clippers were in the first round against the Mavs. Got a chance to cover Kyrie, got a chance to be an oppressor with Kyrie, talk to Kyrie, and had a chance to actually talk to Kyrie in the back tunnels as he was leaving one night. I'm sticking around, just waiting to see if I can catch. I do what I call catch the wave. You ever go surfing? You ever go boogie boarding? And you're sitting in the water and you're kind of just waiting. You're waiting to just catch the wave. You're not going out there to try to get the wave. You're not running from the wave. And Lord knows if you don't never leave the beach, you're never going to get the wave. So I'm just standing out there, and I kind of walk slow and walk around. And once I know guys are funneling to the bus and funneling to leave, I kind of just, catch the way. I got my bag with me, got my, I'm done for the night. You loosen up the tie a little bit, and you're following the flow of the players leaving. I got a chance to talk to Kyrie Irving and talk to him about how he feels about where he's come from where he was, and all the scrutiny in Boston, all the scrutiny with the vax and the leaving the team, and then there was the sharing of the Amazon movie and all those things, until where now he was getting a lot of credit from Jason Kidd, by Jason Kidd's own mouth and pregame and postgame pressers that were covering the series also too, that he was the veteran of this team, and that he felt like people were, he's changed his vibe, his frequency, right? He's hanging around different people. He's created a different circle for himself, and that he felt like this was a real at peace time, a peace place for him, and that Boston was behind him and Brooklyn was behind him, and it may very well be, but I will say this: the Boston fans, I don't think is getting to him. I think just the memories of Boston and wanting to play so well there and wanting to do so well there. I see a lot of one-on-one Kyrie. I see a lot of ISO Reed, and you got to move the ball in basketball. That's old school. That's how I was taught. Move the ball side to side, swing the ball, make the defenders, make the defense have to do this and go side to side. If I could just stand there and everybody, the other 4 guys could just watch, because it's cross, up, hold, hesitate, cross, okay, get back with this, around the back. If it's ISO ball, it doesn't work out. It's not sustainable. And I see a lot of that with Kyrie. And I think Kyrie is in denial that what he may still be feeling or what the energy and frequency is between him and Boston, and it showed. He's not shooting well, and when I talk about the NBA Finals in the next segment, I'll get more into the numbers and things of that nature. But Kyrie Irving's in denial. I thought he handled the pre-stuff leading up to the NBA Finals very well, as far as talking about it with a smile on his face and talking about his mental health and giving love to Kobe Bryant. He had one long soliloquy of a response to a question a reporter asked him about his mentorship and getting to the finals and how he's thinking about Kobe at the moment and things of that nature. He did a very, very great job at doing that. And I bought it. But on the court now, I'm watching the product, okay? It's like a product that you see on the commercial. I told somebody this the other day. I'm not eating Popeyes no damn more. I'm not getting fooled by them delicious-looking commercials that they put out. Because when I was a kid, there was no Popeyes commercials. You just had to go, and it was the bomb. Now it's disgusting. It turns my stomach. It doesn't taste good. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It doesn't taste good. I'm on a health thing right now anyway. I'm not even really eating like that anymore. But that's why they got all these damn commercials out now with all this juicy-looking chicken and sandwiches. It don't look nothing like that when you go get it. Don't taste nothing like that. That's the product. I have it now. I see it, but now I taste it. I saw all the pre-final stuff, but now I get a chance to taste the games 1 and 2, and it's not there. I think Kyrie was in denial, and I think once he gets past that, you get a few days off. Game 3 is on Wednesday. We'll get more into that, and I think he'll be fine, but he's got to bring himself out of denial. Somebody else that's got to bring themselves out of denial, too, also, we'll get into this a little later, too, are Laker fans. Breaking news. Dan Hurley has told the Los Angeles Lakers no thank you to 6 years and $70 million. He will return to Stores, Connecticut. I used to live out that way. I know little people out there, a bunch of UConn fans. UConn people out there. He's going to go back to UConn and try to capture his third, uno, dos, tres championships, national college and national championships and NCAA basketball. The only last coach to do that was the Wizard of Westwood for UCLA. He just said no, and you know why, guys? LeBron fans, Laker fans, a lot of you guys, I love the Lakers. I do. I love living out here. I love the vibe. I'm not a Laker fan. I don't love the Lakers. I just love the vibe. You go to a Laker game, it's a vibe. You go to a Laker game, it's a feel. It's a zone. It's an event. It's a thing. I've covered these things. I've been on the court. I've mingled. I've shaken hands and kissing babies, and nobody shake hands and kisses babies like the big vanilla poppy. But trust me, it's a vibe there, man. But I do believe the fan base is in denial of what the franchise may be. And I think a lot of the fan base is in denial in their star player, LeBron James. There's a lot of denial going on because this move right here with Dan Hurley turning down $70 million. In every industry, you want to go coach the top level. You want to go play the top level. You want to go speak on the top level. I'm a comedian. I want to perform on the top stages. When I first performed at the Comedy Store, I felt like I made it. And I had been on big stages back east, but I'd never been at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles on Sunset. I'd never been at the Laugh Factory. I'd never been off the Ha Ha in North Hollywood. I was never at the Ice House in Pasadena. These are places they shoot specials. These are places Richard Pryor. I was on the same stage in the same dressing room Richard Pryor was in. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Tracy Morgan. You can name them. I want to be there. That's the top. And you want to keep going until you get there. He wants to coach pro. But he just told the Lakers, no, that's huge, in my opinion. A lot of reasons why, but the number one reason is denial. We'll get into more reasons as we go deeper to Say What I Said, Season 2 premiere. You guys are watching right now on YouTube, Infanity TV channel. Another last but not least thing of denial too, Caitlin Clark fans, let it go. Okay, we'll get into more of that too. She's not on Team USA. She's not good enough to be on the team. You're in denial about how good of a player that she is. Great shooter. She can her eyes. She can find people. She can pass the ball. She's a good passer. Really good passer. She's 6 assists, I think, a night, but she turns the ball over a lot. Body's not built for the league. And also, too, she's not better than the 12 women that we send it. This is the world. This ain't the WNBA. This ain't America. This is the world. You ever see a woman from Germany? Ever see a woman from Belarus or from France? These ain't no little, these ain't no little girls you see in the hot yoga class. These are full-grown pro basketball playing women. Denial. Everybody get out of your damn denial. Your life will open up. The universe will open up for you if you get rid of denial. We're going to hinge on that word today. Word of the day, denial. All right. Coming up next, man, I want to get into the NBA Finals. This is the last leg of the NBA season before the draft and before Summer League. Lakers. Lakers. See how the Lakers get. See how they do. See how they put the Lakers in their mind. Boston's up 2-0. We'll talk more about what the Mavs need to do once Boston's done so well. All that and more coming up on the return season 2 premiere of VJ Said What I Said Infanity TV. We'll be right back, man. Y'all sit tight.
These are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
You know what it is.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to VJ Said What I Said. Also, remember, guys, make sure you follow me on my social media, Big Vanilla Funny on IG, Big Vanilla Funny on Twitter, and VJ Vernon Husky on Facebook. And don't forget to go to YouTube. Make sure you follow Vesta Sports VJ Comedy. And then also Infanity TV. Just crossed over 10,000 subscribers. Very proud of that. But once again, as I said at the beginning of the show, we can't do that without y'all. I mean, if we don't have y'all, we just sit here talking, and people do that at work around the water cooler and in salons and barbershops all day long. All right, so let's get into some NBA Finals stuff because the NBA Finals are going on. Star power, which is weird, right? So let's start here. This thing is star power, right? This is star-studded. Jaylen Brown, right? Super max deal. Luka, max deal. Kyrie, champion, max deal. Jason Tatum, I'm sorry, because we're gonna get to Jason Tatum. I've been talking about Jason Tatum for the last 2 years, and I've done an episode here on Say What I Said from season 1. You guys can go back and look at that, where I am talking about what I'm going to talk about now with Jason Tatum. But you have star power, right? And you got 2 coaches. You got Jason Kidd, won a championship, one of the top 10, easily top 7 or 6 point guards of all time, in my opinion, coaching. You have Joe Mazzulla over here, the young buckaroo at 34, 35 years old, coaching. Had to take over from Ime Udoka after his whole shenanigans deal. He's now coaching the Rockets. I think they're going to be really good, too, in the future. The man could coach. He just made a very stupid mistake. Wasn't because he can't coach the reason why he's not in Boston. But plenty of star power. But not a lot of star power when the game started. You got Porzingis coming off an injury. He has 18 in the first half. Last night, where'd Drew Holiday? Where'd this come from? And it's not where this come from because if you've been watching him, you've been watching basketball, constant professional. The guy reminds me of a Rod Strickland / Chauncey Billups kind of guy. That's a good one, right? And I ain't hear that from nobody. That's mine, so don't nobody steal that. Y'all give me my props for that comparison. He is a Chauncey Billups, Rod Strickland kind of combination. Just goes about doing his job. He's a guy who never plays outside himself. He always is playing within himself. He's never, I didn't like the move of trading Marcus Smart because I thought you got rid of a little of your chest. Thought him and Grant Williams was your chest. Remember, Jimmy Butler's talking smack to everybody. Nobody would say nothing to Jimmy Butler. Grant was like, okay, fine, I'll go sweaty forehead to sweaty forehead, nose sweat to nose sweat with him. We can almost smell and taste each other's breath face to face. I'll go do it since none of y'all will do it. I thought losing that, I wanted to see Boston kind of get pushed and punched in the mouth and see what would happen. That hasn't happened all playoffs. So that hasn't shown up like I thought it would in some of my finals pregame prep notes. And then you have Porzingis, who's doing his thing. So Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Jalen's got some plays, but he hasn't had like that star-studded game like he was having in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jason Tatum's not having that at all. Didn't shoot well last night. Didn't shoot well in game one. And I thought him being left in once Jason pulled his big dogs out was to kind of get his numbers a little, because I think he went 16, 10, and 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't know the exact number of the game one, but that was his line. It was like 16. He had a lot of rebounds, 10 rebounds. No one boxes out. If it's not Lively or Gafford over there for Dallas, who's on the glass for them? They don't have another kind of big power forward. They're more kind of stretch and shoot three type of guys is what Jason Kidd employs out there. And Luka hasn't been able to get on the glass and get those triple-double type numbers, even assisting the ball also either. So his star power hasn't been there. But I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I don't think I'm out on a limb, so I'll take that part away. I will just set the precedent of saying out loud, the NBA Finals as of right now, on June 10th, Series 2-0 C's over the Mavs. Headed back to Dallas for Wednesday night. This series is on one guy. This series is on my man Afro Reed. Y'all know how I feel about my man Afro Reed? Kinda. This series is on you, bro. I've defended Afro Reed. I've defended Kyrie Irving. I've been a fan of Kyrie Irving since he was in high school. I've always enjoyed his game. I've always loved his game. I've always thought he was very insightful. Whether you believe the world is flat or not, I don't care about none of that type of stuff. It's when he's talking about just life, just mental type stuff, psychology, philosophy, where that's my pocket, man. I like talking about stuff like that. Quick sidebar. When I'm covering games and I'm asking questions and pressers, my favorite, when people have come to me, hey, man, how'd you come up with that question? Or how'd you ask that question? Because people haven't. That's not a brag. That's humbling for me. I was explaining this to Jeff, the big top dog here at Infanity TV. Like, I took that humbling. That was exciting for me. Somebody thought that I'd asked a good enough question to ask me about it, let her know it be used on another platform. And asked me how I formulate my questions. And I said, they hear enough of the game, the X's and O's, the numbers and stuff like that. I want to get up here because I think up here is where athletes want to protect the most. And I'm not trying to do it diabolically. I want to just, take us mentally to where you are right now or at that moment or with this coming up or getting past this. I like to ask those questions because I think that's when you can really get an athlete to openly open up. And I think that's what we all want. Kyrie has been really good at that lately, right? And he's shown that, hey, I have a new circle of people. I'm at a peace. I have this. I have that. I have all these things going on. Life is great. He's got his kid. He's got his lady. And everybody, listen, every man, hey, listen, you want to calm your life down to live good, man, find you a good woman and have you some kids. Real talk. I love my kids. I do. They're my life. They're really, when you're with your kids every day, man, they're your damn life. Every move you make, everything you do is because of them. But Kyrie, it's all on him. And we've seen the maturity. And we've seen the things that have happened. And I got a chance to talk to him. I got that mental question into him and heard the response. Not seeing the product on the court, though. Now, they're going home. Here's the thing. They're going home. Boston did what they were supposed to do. Boston won game 1 and 2. Game 1 was a blowout. They cut it to 8. The Mavs did in the third quarter. But you know how the saying is. When the lead gets too big, when you make a push and you cut into it, so in basketball, 20-point lead, all right, once you get it under 10, do you have the energy to then tie it, take the lead, and finish it? Because you've expended so much more energy mentally and physically to get it under 10. And you're looking up at the clock. You start clock watching, right? You start looking at the clock, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's a 13-point game. We just got to get it under 10. Because under 10, couple of threes, back-to-back threes, okay, it's a 4-point game. It's a 2-possession game. 1-possession game if you get a 3-point and 1. And we've seen the numbers in that call rise in the NBA with the rise of 3-point shots that are taken and guys that just don't understand. Don't go launching and leaping at a guy with one hand up directly at him when most shooters kind of fade forward after they're coming down and stick their legs out and get calls and all of those things. This series is on Kyrie Irving at this point right now. Boston's did what they're supposed to do. Porzingis has played great. Some numbers I got for you guys, too, that just kind of show how closely. Now, the Mavs are the 5th seed in the West. Boston's been the number 1 overall seed pretty much all year. They ended the season with a 15-game lead, 15-game lead over the second-place team in the Eastern Conference. So that conference was close. There wasn't even a 14-game lead between 1 and I want to say 11, I believe, in the Western Conference. So they were 14 games above the second-place team. 14 games jumbled in 11 teams in the Western Conference just to show you the difference. So in the postseason, Boston has only been giving up 111, which is 101, which is third defensively, 111, which is second offensively in the postseason. The Dallas Mavericks were at 107 as far as the points they were scoring and giving up 103. So they were playing better defense. Now, last night they only gave up 105, but they only scored 98. They have yet to crack the 100-point mark in this series. A few reasons why I believe this is happening. Number one, and it's funny because I have these laws of sports I live by, and sometimes I want to think outside the box, and I think sometimes I may just outthink myself. I have a saying that young teams don't win championships. They just don't. You can't find me the young team in sports that wins championships. On a pro level, college is different, but on a pro level, find me young teams that win championships. Boston's a veteran team. Porzingis is past year 10. You have Jalen, you have Jalen, you have Tatum, you have Holiday. Holiday's already won a championship. Al Horford's 37 years old. You have one starter on your team. He's 37 years old, still chasing that championship. I believe he's now under John Stockton, or I think maybe just past John Stockton, of players that played the most postseason games without a championship in their career. If you look at Dallas is a young team. They have one vet on that team that plays. DeAndre Jordan's over there, but we know he ain't playing. This is his last days in his son collected a check. I hope he's saving in advance and investing because he's going to need it, because I doubt he's on a team 2 years from now. Maybe next year he's not in the league anymore. Hell, Dwight Howard, Boobie Cousins just won a championship overseas. I believe it was MVP or something crazy like that. So there's guys that can still play, but just not on the NBA level. But when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, they got one vet on the squad. It's Kyrie. Luka's still young. PJ's young. Junior's young. Timmy Hardaway's young. This is a young basketball team. Dante Exum. This is a young basketball team. And I think we got pulled in by how great they were in the Western Conference run. They didn't have to play the defending champions because they got knocked out by Minnesota, and then Minnesota was the creme de la creme. Minnesota was the flavor of the month, and then they showed Minnesota what was up because they just didn't have an answer for Luka, or they were sync coverage in, and once Luka would get to the dotted line, he would just throw the lob. They were lobbing all day. Boston has completely taken the lob away from the Dallas Mavericks. I believe 2 or 3 lobs in the first 2 games. They were doing that a quarter against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were throwing that lob like 4 or 5 times a quarter, a half. I've only seen 3 in this series. Shifts back to Dallas on Wednesday. I think that's going to tell everything because it's either going to be 2-1, and then Friday's game is going to be super huge because you got a chance to either get it knotted up at 2 going back to Beantown, or you're going back to Beantown down 3-1 with a chance for them to close out. That means you would have lost in 5. I picked Dallas at 6, so I think I got caught in it too. But I didn't. I went against my own law of young teams don't win the championship. Boston's a veteran team, and they're a team that has been to the finals. They were up 2-1 in that finals, and they lost that finals in 6 to the Golden State Warriors. So I kind of went against my own law. I have to stick with my pick because I don't like flip-flopping, but I'm telling y'all right now, with all the numbers and all the stuff I have written down here, it just keeps pointing back to Kyrie Irving. This series is now on him. He's shooting 35% from the field. I believe he is a total of 13 of 37 shooting. He is 0 of 8 from 3. I put the pen down. That's all I need right there. That is the series. Luka right now, 24-47, shooting 51% from the field. Derek Lively, got to score buckets. These are the must-haves. Shaq calls them the others. The others, you always got to have the others. I call them the must-haves because you must have them. You must have these guys play well to win. We'll see what happens. And when I come back and hit y'all next Monday, we're going to know where the series stands. They play Wednesday and Friday. There's no game on the weekend. So when I see y'all next week here on VJ Said What I Said, we'll know exactly where they stand. We'll revisit all these notes. Kyrie, hey, baby, this is on you. Also, real quick, one last thing. Dallas, 23-23 in the second and third quarters. There's 40. You can't score 46 points in 2 quarters and only had 24 points in the fourth quarter against Boston. That's not going to get it done either. All right, wrapping that up. When we come back, I want to talk some Caitlin Clark. She's starting to become my favorite topic to talk because it's one of the most false narratives in sports, and it's not really anything against her. It's against her new fan base that's ruining this conversation. I'll explain all that and more coming up. I'm back, baby. Like throwback jerseys and 90s basketball sneakers, man. VJ Said What I Said, Infanity TV.
And these are the breaks. These are the breaks. You know what it is.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
What's good, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? VJ Vernon Husky, Big Vanilla Funny, Big Vanilla Poppy on VJ Said What I Said here on Infanity TV. As always, don't forget to go follow me on my social media, Big Vanilla Funny and VJ Vernon Husky. Just go to social media and type in VJ Vernon Husky and Big Vanilla Funny. Trust me, it's gonna pop up somewhere. All right, so let's move right along. I want to talk about Caitlin Clark, WNBA, USA Team Paris 2024 coming up this summer. She was left off the team. I'm not going to use the word snubbed because she's not better than any of the young ladies that they're taking. Wilson, Sabrina, Griner, Diana, Collier, Young, Stewart, Plum, Jewel, Kelsey Gray, Alyssa Thomas, and Cooper. She's not better than any of those ladies right there. Okay, so we could put that aside. This idea and this narrative and these false narratives, there's some false narratives and things I wrote down that are just really driving me crazy about this, and this is why I want to attack this, because when you get your own show, you get your own platform, you get to say a whole lot more than when I'm doing other things on other platforms. You got to, share the airtime and be respectful. First of all, the first narrative that I want to bring up, and Gino, head coach of UConn women's basketball, touched on this on the Dan Patrick Show on Thursday. If you did not check it out, please go find that, because here's a man who's won 11 national championships. And a lot of these women in the WNBA he coached. He said it. I've coached some of the best of the best, the greatest of the greatest. And just, he has. It just is what it is. And the banners that are hanging up there show it. His statement of how the WNBA was so disrespected by this new legion of fans that have never watched women's college basketball. They've never watched WNBA basketball. They have been told by the media, the mainstream media and the mainstream sports media and all the kiss-assers out there, that have to answer to. They get handed their marching papers. You think they really live on their own word? They don't. There's sponsors and there's business. And listen, I get it. There's a saying: you either sell out or you buy in. And let me tell you guys something that don't know that. That's a real thing in this business. You can either sell out or you can buy in. You can either make a lot of friends or you can make a lot of money. Some people are very lucky to do both. And then some people don't have to sell out or buy in. They could just be themselves. And if you just stay the steady road, if you shake hands and kiss babies properly, look good, feel good, smell good, show up on time, be there early, be there late. Trust me on this. You're talking to somebody that's living it. You can take it as a brag. I'm not going to say, it's not a brag. You can take it how the hell you want. Some people watching this is going to know I'm preaching right now. Real talk. I'm giving y'all sports talk, broadcast, business, church right now. The problem with this story is the false narrative seemed to outweigh what the facts of the truth are. And it takes somebody like Gino to come out and say they disrespected the NBA by thinking that this young lady was going to walk into the league and she was just going to tear the league up because Diana Taurasi, now, albeit it was right after Iowa eliminated UConn. UConn gets called for a BS chart. Like, you don't end the Final Four game on a illegal screen. You let UConn let them get. We didn't even get a shot. Like, we didn't even get the shot off. We really didn't get to see who was the better team. The referee inserted himself with under 9 seconds to go, and I can never flow with that. But it was after that game. Diana Taurasi is on the broadcast with Scott Van Pelt, ESPN. She's doing her Taurasi thing, which, mind you, guys, it's her and Sue Bird. Very entertaining. And Diana, see, as a stand-up comedian, I like crude humor. I just started watching Archer. Oh my God, I'm 13 seasons late. I know. But I just started and I binged through season 1. That's funny stuff. That's comedic writing. That's VJ. That's how I think. Some of the stuff they say, I'm like, yeah, if I'm a secret agent and I could do that, I'd be doing that too. That's the wildness of me. But Diana Taurasi is very entertaining. She's got a lot of sneaky, undercover, kind of raunchy humor that I like. And you can see Sue Bird sometimes just smiles and just shakes her head. She doesn't even, or sometimes she'll turn and look at her like, did you really just say that? And Diana's like, what? Anyway, it's great. But after their broadcast, she's on with Scott Van Pelt. And she's asked about Caitlin Clark. And she literally just said, listen, she's in for a rude awakening. There's a learning curve when you come on this league. Yeah, you look superhuman to 18 and 19-year-olds. But when she comes into the league, she's going to be playing against a bunch of grown women who've been playing professional basketball for a really long time. And she got called every name under the sun. Now, Diana Taurasi is a multi-time college champion. She's a WNBA champion. She is a league MVP. She's going to go to the Hall of Fame. She's on the Olympic team. And listen, to some of the tweets and stuff that I see, I'll explain it to you guys every platform I'm ever on. So you can't say I didn't say it. You got it right here. Here's the receipt. Here's the video. Remember, the tape. Put the tape on. Here's the tape. She probably could be pulled off this team. But it doesn't mean Caitlin Clark gets her spot. She probably, I think Arika, if I say that correctly, the guard from Dallas, she shoots a lot, and she's averaging 26, but she shoots 23 shots a night. So I know she can get a bucket, but she takes a lot of shots to get those buckets. But maybe she could be plugged in. So if you want Diana off the team, okay, fine. But the reason why Diana is on the team is because a lot of times in life, and when you've been good at something for so long and you've given so much to the business or to the sport, to the craft or whatever, sometimes you get rewarded for what you've done on the way out the door. Diana's 41. She's on her way out the door. She's going to be a broadcaster. She's probably going to have a radio show or some type of podcast or TV show. She's going to have something because she moves the needle. She talks, she says things. People get offended. People get upset about it or whatever. Controversy, mudslinging sells. I'm not into mudslinging because when I mudsling, I go hard. I'm coming at you. I don't know a light way to do it. That's why I don't like to do it. And I don't know how to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not in the mustang. But I get the industry and the business we in. I get why we do it. I get why people do it. Whatever, that's fine. But at the end of the day, she was called everything under the sun, and all she did was tell the truth. Because the proof is in the pudding. Caitlin Clark's 3 best games against the 2 worst teams. Honestly, the 2 worst teams in the league. Teams that don't win a lot. And the Mystics haven't won at all. But everybody wants, look at her. She put up 30 and she hit 7 of 13 from 3. Great shooting night. Against a winless team and the worst team in the league. Good teams, you can't get those shots off. Good teams, they're pulling you out in the fourth quarter because you're a defensive liability. Gino also said that her game physically is not built for the pro league. It's just not. She's not going to get any bigger, guys. She's not going to grow. She's not going to put on more mass or more body. That's not the way the female anatomy works. She is slight of frame. She can get pushed. Listen, the check from Sinead, the check was, it could have been a basketball or non-basketball play, whatever. But I don't think she flopped, to be honest with you. I just think she's light in the ass. She got hit and, it shocked her, knocked her off balance and flung her to the floor. I didn't think that was a flop, even though I've seen her flop. I thought she just really got a hip check and just her body can't take it. So even playing in the Olympics, these women, have you ever seen a woman from Germany or from France or from Spain or even from South American countries and Mexico? These are bigger. They're just like the WNBA women. The WNBA has 144 spots. There's not only 144 good basketball players in the world, ladies and gentlemen, that have size, that have girth, that have body, that's been playing pro basketball. They know how physical the league is. That's number one. Number two, when he talked about the fans, and another false narrative is she's bringing so much attention to the league. Bullshit. No, she's not. She's bringing attention to the fever and to her and whoever she's playing against as the villain. Everybody who plays against her is the villain. That's not great attention. I know Angel Reese. Hey, boo-boo. You ain't Camila Cardoso. Hey, mama. Hey, how y'all doing? Anyway, those are my girls. I love them girls. For real, AJ Wilson, too. From the Vegas, she got the silver hair thing. Oh my God, so beautiful. Anyway, you think that these women are just going to let someone come in and do something, and if your body can't stand up to it, and if you can't somehow be able to take that pounding, and your legion of fans start to really rip the league and praise you, that's not good for the league. Now, any publicity is great publicity. Oh, Hollywood saying, all right, cool. I don't think so in this sense. I think that type of publicity, because now what I'm seeing is name calling. Now what I'm seeing is targeting. Now what I'm seeing is open racism, is open prejudice, is open. We know the WNBA is very big in the gay community. A lot of the women there are lesbian in the league, very outspoken about what their stance, and that's fine. I'm not on either side. Hey, live your life how you want to live your life. I have nothing to say about it. I don't have nothing negative to say. Live your life. I'm going to go live mine. So then now you got those people coming after them. You got those anti coming after the names people are being called, and people are saying she should leave the league and let them go back to ride and bust. I even seen a very prominent report. Let those he/she's. What is that? What we're doing here now? You've held up this Messiah who was going to come change the league, a league that's been physical. Do you guys not remember the Candace Parker fight? Do you guys not remember the Angel Reese getting grabbed by her throat and getting slammed down? And quick sidebar, stop making Caitlin Clark this sympathetic little flower that's just being pulled out of the ground and being stomped on in the middle of a hot summer street and embarrassed in front of everybody. She runs her. Gino said this too. She talks a lot of crap. She talks a lot of junk, and that's why she's getting it back. That's just the way. If you're gonna talk, listen, you gotta be able to. Styles P has a real famous line in the song called "F You" by the Lox in the We Are the Streets album. Learn the rules. Don't riff if you soft. You pissing me off. Don't riff if you soft. If you soft, keep your mouth shut. Don't talk no trash. But there are people like, dude, she runs her mouth. And we all know about the John Cena and the Tony Yayo. You can't see. You were doing this to like these girls that Diana Taurasi was saying that are 18, 19-year-old. It looked good for everybody then. It looked good. The minute that someone did it to you is when the world exploded. This idea that she's bringing so much eyes to the league, I'm not buying it. She's bringing eyes to the fever and to herself. And then also, too, another false narrative that's wrong, the private flight. She's got them private flights. Let them go back. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Hate the name call. You, Austin Rivers. You said it yourself. She's gotten these girls private flights. If you guys are going to open your mouth, you media pundits are going to open your mouth and start talking this stuff, make sure you know what you're talking. They had private flights for the playoffs last year. The playoffs are in August and September for the WNBA. College basketball, they don't even start practicing and get together. They got summer stuff or whatever, but they don't get together until October. Late September, October. She hadn't even suited up for an Iowa game yet, and these women have private flights. So everybody's trying to make all of this because of her. And the women in the league are like, wait a minute, we've been doing this. Thank you for the other 1,500,000, because the average WNBA game, guys, just to let you know, before she got to the league, I was like 750K. Right now, it's up at like 1.5 million, 1.4 million. Okay, she's brought 800,000 new eyes. And I think I wrote some math down as far as if it was 14,000, I think it's 14,000 per state. So 14,000 new fans per state. It's a jump, but this catastrophic jump you guys are talking about, it's just not true. Her debut game didn't outview the draft. The draft was 2.4 million. Her debut game topped at 1.9. So not even as many people that watch the draft watch her play. So it's going the other way because you don't have a true interest in it. It's a story that you've been sold. It's an image and a person you've been sold as a savior and a messiah. And a lot of sports fans and people in this business, including the gentleman you're looking at right now, we don't like that. Let it play out. And when you have a fan that's unknowledgeable and jumps into the fray of the conversation and starts to make this thing political and personal, now the Olympics, now I'm going to boycott the Olympics. You think the Olympics going to miss you watching? Do you think they really care about you watching? We're still waiting for Sha'Carri Richardson with the 100-meter dash going against the Jamaican girls. Whatever swimmer's going to, Katie Ledecky, whatever swimmer besides her is going to jump up this year. There's always going to be a story for us, guys. When the Olympics start, nobody's going to sit there and go, man, I really wish Caitlin Clark was there. The bottom line is this before I get the break. She's not good enough to be on the team. It's as simple as that. She's overrated. She's a turnstile on defense. She turns the ball over. Her footwork is bad. I've been telling you guys this since she was in college. And her footwork's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. She lying the ass. She could be a good shooter. 15, 16 points as a career person. That's a great WNBA career. That's where she's headed. She's not on the USA team, guys. So get over it and let's move on and talk about something else. Let's get ready for the game. Come on, man. USA. Ain't that what it's supposed to be about? See how fake y'all be doing? Y'all sit tight, man. We'll be right back more with VJ Said What I Said when we come back and get to some NFL talk and just some other crazy stuff that's been going on in sports, man. Y'all sit back at InfanityTV.com.
And these are the breaks. These are the breaks. You know what it is.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
What's good, everybody? VJ Said What I Said, Infanity TV. Season 2, man. This feels so good to be back. I've been gone for a minute, man. We're June 10th. I think my last show might have been in March. So then so much had happened with the NBA and the playoffs and the WNBA and the Final Four for women's and Reese and Caitlin Clark and South Carolina and Dawn Staley. I do want to take a quick moment before I jump into this Dan Hurley story. Breaking news, he's saying no to the Los Angeles Lakers, 6 years, $70 million. Shout out to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women's team. I have not had a chance on a big platform to come out and give them their props. for winning another national championship. I believe the record is 73-3 or 74-3 over the last 2 seasons. If not for the COVID year, guys, you guys have to remember they were undefeated that year too in the COVID season. They thought they had a championship stolen from them by that season being stopped, not by the NCAA or anything like that, just by COVID, by the nation shutting down, the world shutting down. But also, too, then they go the following year, they go undefeated, and they lose in the national semifinal, where some officiating mistakes were made to make sure that Iowa and Caitlin Clark got to the national championship game. And then last year, they finished it off undefeated, national champions. I come from the era of Virginia where at a point we can only see local teams. There wasn't cable as far as expanded with all these different services where you can watch any game. Now you can watch any university, any sport, some way, somehow. It's streaming somewhere. That wasn't the case back then when she was at UVA, rocking the salt and pepper, high and low, little bob with the bamboo earrings back in the day, out of Philly. My dad is from Philly, so my dad knew about her. Family members knew about her. She was at UVA. Those were the only games that you even really heard about when it came to women's college basketball before UConn and either North Carolina won a national championship in 93, I believe, 93, 94. Charlotte Smith hit the game winner to win that game. Marion Jones, former track star gold medalist, was also on that team. But shout out to Dawn Staley and what she's done. That's somebody I think that's growing the game for women's basketball and some of the things that she's done and spoken out with and against and stood for. Not somebody that was chosen by the media in a made-up story to be a savior. All right, so let's move on. Dan Hurley says no to the Los Angeles Lakers. 6 years, $70 million contract to come coach the Los Angeles Lakers. Listen, there are a lot of people that thought this. I thought it was a done deal. I really did. Why would you not take this job? I understand LeBron is still there. Maybe this is Genie. And I wrote some things down. I thought if he took this job, it would have meant a few things. And number one, for Genie, I would have thought that it meant that Genie got back control of her team. Because we know where LeBron is, he wants control. Even though his name may not be on the building, he wants to call the shots. Yeah, you can tell me all you want. Rich Paul runs or owns or whatever the title is of Clutch, the agency. We all know it's LeBron. And he's not going to go against what LeBron asks him or tell him to do. If LeBron goes, I want AD, let's get him to fire his agent, pout like a kid, get traded. He'll sign you as an agent. You get him to LA. If he looked at him and said, nah, I don't want to do that, he wouldn't be in Clutch. It's as simple as that. Didn't he just unfollow Kendrick Perkins? They got a weird bromance going on over there. But I also thought that if they hired him too, this would have created stability. Because if you now fire him within 2 to 3 years, you know exactly who it is. Because he's Vogel, oh no, it wasn't him. Darvin Ham, oh no, it wasn't him. And there are people that don't think Darvin Ham could coach. I don't buy that. You're not named, by the way, sidebar, Darvin Ham has now been named back the top assistant of the Bucks where he won a championship. So he's like, all right, fine, you guys want to treat me like this? I'll pocket about 20, 30 mil, and then I'll go back to the Bucks where I may not be the guy, but I'm still a hell of a coach. I'll get another opportunity somewhere else. I thought this also, too, would have properly reset the franchise because I thought if he took the job, then it wouldn't mean that LeBron's not going to do the extension or Jeannie don't want to do the extension. And it's like maybe she got a moment from her dad from the heavens that you don't get starstruck. Bill Perlashki, who I love and respect so much as a sports writer in this business, about 2 or 3 weeks ago went on what we call the car wash. And that's when you kind of do all the shows in your local area that day. And I listen to 570 because I'm on 570 myself. He went in on her, on LeBron, and he's got the cachet to do so because he's Bill Pulaski. He's probably LA Times top sports writer. I think he's their senior sports writer. He's been there longer than everybody that's currently there right now. He's the guy, so he could come out and say it. He goes, we're in the season now. Kiss LeBron's ass, and Genie's too starstruck. Those were his words, verbatim, end quote, okay? So I thought this would have given her a chance to reset the franchise in a proper way and really go for the future. I thought Dan Hurley coming in would have been a coach that would have held everybody accountable. But we know that there are people there that don't want to be held accountable. It's never their fault. Could you imagine him coaching and LeBron James not getting back on defense? Like down there pouting, throwing their hands up. All the demonstrative piss poor leadership that I've been speaking about. I was in the United States Army. You think a drill sergeant in war or sergeant, somebody in battle, whatever, can look at a guy and go, oh my God, man, you missed that shot. No, keep shooting. We got to get that. Keep shooting. You look at the leader, and I'll tell you, everything else goes. If he's rolling his eyes at Darvingham, and he's not looking up the whiteboard when he's drawing X's and O's, and he's standing off to the side or standing up just looking down, not even really looking at the board, he's just looking at the floor, and then roll his eyes and walk back onto the court, being very demonstrative that he didn't challenge, what do you think the soldiers are going to do if that's what the leader's doing? That's what the captain's doing. That's the way that it normally goes. And then also I thought build culture, Jeannie takes back control. And then I thought Rob could do his job. If you get Dan Hurley and then Rob can really do his job, he doesn't have to do what LeBron wants to do. This is simply Dan Hurley, in my own personal opinion, saying, I don't want to go coach LeBron James. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm really not the guy. I have to appease to a player, and that's going to have me out of here in 2 to 3 years anyway. And then I'll be back to college, and then I'll be one of those coaches that couldn't cut it in the pros because I came up against the biggest superstar coach killer of all time. All right, so as every show, we end off with a Mamba moment, man. I've been waiting for this one because I haven't been here with you guys in a while. This is a collective Mamba moment for me. It's not a game. This is all the interviews I've been watching lately, and the players now speaking out about Kobe and where his place is on the GOAT list. And Shaq even recently, just this past week, I believe it was Draymond Green's podcast, who said Kobe could have won the finals MVPs if he wanted to. But we had a thing there. Kobe was going to do his thing in the playoffs, and then I was going to do my thing in the first 3 quarters of the finals, and then Kobe go close it out. Because he was a closer. I might be in foul trouble. They might be doing hack and Shaq. These are Shaq's words. He's telling you guys he could have won those finals MVPs. You go back and look at those numbers in the Western Conference Finals in the second rounds and leading in the Western Conference leading up to the finals. Kobe was averaging 30, 34 points. Kobe was killing people. He had a closeout game of, what was it, 47, 10, and 8 or something like that up in Sacramento, sweeping them. Like, Kobe was that guy at 20, 21 years old. He had arrived. Kobe was that guy. But Shaq had the ego. Let's just say Shaq had the ego. He had to be the guy. Remember, when Shaq got hurt one year and Kobe went off on that 40-game tear, remember, it's known. Kobe said it. Phil said it. Shaq has now admitted, said, he pulled Kobe in and said, hey, we got to reel you in or we're going to lose the big guy. And Kobe's like, what? Like, I'm chill. Like, what? That's the truth, guys. These are things that have happened. And hearing all this stuff, the Mamba moment point I want to get to is your peers will eventually, the fans, I don't want to diss the fans, but when you're said and done in your career, no matter what it is that you do, the people that are going to speak the loudest for you, that are going to mean the most of what they say, like their words carry the most weight, are going to be your peers. The people you worked with, the people you're around, the people who do the same thing that you do. Fans are going to have their say. Family members are going to stick by your side. High school haters are going to say their thing. But it's the people that you're in the trenches with. And you're starting to see players that played against all three, Mike, Jordan, and LeBron. And they're telling you, that guy, that number 8, that's something different. Mike was Mike, but he was even more of a killer than Mike because he knew he was chasing Mike. Mike wasn't chasing nobody. Mike had already surpassed Magic and Bird by 93. So at that point, Mike's on cruise control. Kobe was chasing Mike pretty much, I would say, 16, 17 of his 20-year career. And players are now starting to speak out about his work ethic, the way he attacked the game, the way he focused, the way he locked in, the sacrifices he made to life for the game, and the deals he made with himself. I made my deal that I was going to get up. I made my contract with myself. I was going to get up at 4, work this way, work this way, work this way. It's the message I got from that is, guys, keep going at what you're doing. Everybody out there, keep going at what you're doing. We have some very young talent, some good young talent that's here at Infanity TV. And I was telling Jeff this earlier. I like these young kids. And my advice is keep going. Don't do nothing new. Don't start no new shit. Don't get into crypto and Bitcoin it. Do this. If this is what you love to do it. Do it hard. Do it. Do it like it's the last thing that you're ever going to do in life. Like God is saying, this is it. You can't go do nothing else. So you might as well do it as hard, balls to the wall as you possibly can. Put all your eggs in one basket. This is another Kobe quote. I put all my eggs in one basket. And someone asked him, I think it was Jamal Crawford, said, well, what if you break all the eggs? He said, I just get some more eggs. Right, we're all told, oh, no, don't put all the eggs in this basket. Stay in your lane. I don't want to stay in my lane. Man, well, I could jump in this lane. I could broadcast. I can report. I can do this. I can do that. I don't have to stay in my lane. My lane is whatever lane the universe tells me I can drive in right now is my lane. That Mamba mentality, man, it really rung to me seeing all these videos lately, sitting around waiting to start season 2, down sick on the internet a lot. And that's my message to you guys. Mamba moment today, man. All the interviews. Just go YouTube some Kobe interviews and just see the stuff that he's saying, the work ethic he's talking about, the schedule he put himself on. Stories of Jason Kidd, stories of Jay Williams talking about the competition and seeing him work out, doing full-on workouts before the game and then still going out and scoring 38 points and then doing it again the next night and the next night and the next night. It's just awesome. It's just beautiful, man. So anyway, man, that's the show today. I'm so glad to be back. In the words of Barnell Hill, did you miss me? Because I damn sure missed you guys, man. Make sure you check out New Day, New Time, Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We're back. BJ said what I said. And Infanity TV, kiss and hug your loved ones. God bless. I'm out. See y'all next week.